Howdy all, lovely to see you all again. Today we're going to be looking at the first of 3 solos in November Rain by Guns N' Roses. Delightful classic. Let's take a look. Alright guys, before we get too excited, we just need to talk about the tuning. Like most Guns N' Roses songs, we're tuned half a step down, which is E flat standard tuning, which goes E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, B flat, and another E flat. So get yourself in tune and we'll get started. Alright guys, let's take a look at the first section. I want to start off with a bend on 12 of the 3rd string. I'm going to bend it up, and then I'm going to do a slight bend down only probably about a quarter tone, so we're not going all the way back to the bottom, and then I bring it back up again. After I've done that sort of quarter tone bend up and back, I'm going to hit the pinky on 13 of the 2nd string. After I've hit that pinky note, I want to bend that 12th fret note from the 3rd string down, so I'm going to go and I pull off to the 10th fret of the 3rd string. So all together, and that little quarter tone bend is so crucial to get that delicious phrasing. And then after that we go, so I'm nearly starting exactly the same way, but I've sort of got a double pulse on that bend. I'm going up twice. Then I go back down the quarter tone bend, then bend it back up again, and then there's another pinky note. So we've got nearly exactly the same. At the end of that one though, I'm not doing a pull off to the 10th fret of the 3rd string. So there's similar ideas, but there are a couple of very obvious differences as well. So let's put together what we've got thus far. No pull off there. Then I work into the 9th fret of the 3rd string. I've got a semitone bend in and out, and then a light vibrato. Hopefully that makes sense. And then after that, I want to slide from 10 to 13 on the 2nd string. So we're going to go. And at the end of that, I want to sort of do another double pulsy bend, which is just going up the semitone. So that's on the 9th fret of the 3rd. And then I bring it back to the rest position for a light vibrato. So the double pulse and then the vibrato. And I work into this phrase. So what I'm doing here is a pull off from 7 to 5 on the 3rd, and then I want to play 7th fret again but slide to 9 of the 3rd. Okay, and then from the end of that I'm going to jump to 8 of the 2nd string. You'll notice that I'm using my pointer and my middle for the start. Once I've slid with the pointer and the ring at the start, when I slide over, my middle finger's ready to jump to 8 of the 2nd string. At the end of that, I want to slide from 9 backwards to 7 and then pull off to 5. The majority of that phrase took place on the 3rd string. That's pretty much the whole first section. So let's do it slowly and then we'll drill through the ideas nice and slow with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, let's have a look at the start of the second section. It's going to start off phrase-wise quite similar to what we had in the first section. Right to a T, right down to that pull-off on that section. So I'll do that again. You'll see that it's identical. Bending from 12 of the third, quarter bend down, back up, pinky, and we bend it down into the pull-off. Then I go. So we're doing exactly the same thing now. From that point, I'm doing the double bend on the 12th fret of the third string, and then I want to bring it down into the quarter bend, back up, and then I go. So what I'm doing here is I'm playing 13 of the second string as a single note and then a bent note. So what we should have thus far of section 2 is this. Now with that, I had a bit of a dodgy change there. So you might want to change to the middle finger, just so that when you're transitioning between the third and the second string, you're not trying to bend with the pinky or doing a quick ring finger jump. It's too much action for that guy and you'll tire him out. So we've gone, at the end of that, I go into this phrase. Let's have a look at that a little bit slower. I want to start off with a bend on 15 of the second string, and I bring it down, and then I want to go hammering to a pull off from 13 to 15 back to 13 on the second string. Then I jump to 14 of the third string with my middle finger, and then back down to 13 of the second string. So let's go from the bend and then add that little phrase after that. Hopefully that's making sense. Then after that, I'm going to go back to my middle finger on the third string and slide from 14 to 17. So it goes. Okay, there's a little chunk at the end and that'll be all of section 2. I'm going to do a pull off from 18 to 17 on the second string. I've got a flat pointer waiting here and that's covering the second and the third string. So we're going to go like this. So I've got a pull off at the start from 18 to 17 on the second string, and then rolling to 17 of the third with that flat finger. And I'm going to do that twice. We're going to end the section with an up bend on 18 of the second string, and then the start of the next section will be coming down from that. You know how it goes. So we're just going to end on this. And that'll be enough for that section. Let's do the whole thing relatively slowly and then we'll do it again with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, so we've just come from, after that bend, I'm going back down to 18 of the second string just as a regular note. I want to hit that note twice. You notice that I'm readjusting my position so that I can work into this. So you don't want to end up just stuck on your pointer and your middle for this. You want to be able to get a whole hand position back so that you can start from 15 of the second string. So we're going to go, then I work into this phrase. What I'm doing here is I'm picking on the way up, 15, 17, 18 on the second string, and then the legato thing I do, I'm playing 17, 18, 17, 15, all in one pick. So I'm doing a hammer, then 2 pull-offs. So you're just hammering in and then rolling back, that's how I think of it. So from the start, if you want to add some light vibrato at the end of that, that's cool with me. And then we go, what I'm doing here is I'm playing 15, 17, and then 18 with a slight bend on the second string. At the end of that, I want to bring the bend down and pull off from 18 to 17 on the second string. So I go, okay, at the end of that, what I've got there is a slight bend on 17 and then just a vibrato 17 on the second string. Alright, before we get ahead of ourselves, let's have a look at what we've got thus far. that's all making sense. I want to jump now to 19 of the first string, and I've just got a semitone bend. After that, we work into this phrase. Alright, so what I'm doing at the start of that is I'm hitting 19 twice, and then I hit a third time, and slide from 19 to 17. Okay, and then from 17 I go, there's only 2 picks now. I hit 17 twice and slide to 15. So we had basically a group of 3 from 19 with the slide, and then a group of 2 from 17 with the slide. Okay, then I've got another group of 2 from 15. And after that second pick on the 15th fret, I'm sliding to 13. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then from there, what I'm doing here is I'm hitting 13 of the first string twice, and then 12 of the first string twice. So I think we should go back to the 19 from the bend. We'll try and slide back and then get over here. So from the bend, hopefully that's making sense, and then I end on this. I'm going to leave the last note to lead into the fourth section, and I'm basically doing that little hammer-on pull-off idea that we had over here, but just on different frets. So I'm playing 12, 13 is a hammer, and then pulling off 12, 10 on the first string. So we've got... Hopefully that's all making sense. Let's try the whole thing from the start of the section relatively slowly, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time with some tabs. Okay, let's take a look at the last section. I want to start off with a single note on 13 of the first string, and then we work into this little phrase. Let's slow that down. And it's quite a long run. I do want to do it in chunks so that we don't get too scared and overwhelmed. So we've got the single note, and then I'm going to go 12, 13, and then I'm going to go 12, 13, 12, 10 as a hammer-on into a rolling pull-off. So we're going to go like this. 12, 13, 12, 10. So from the start, 12, 13, and then the rolling legato. At the end of that, I want to add 3 notes. I want to play 13 of the second string, 12 of the first, and then back to 13 of the second string. So we're going to go, take it from the start now. Okay, after that I want to add in this little number. What I'm doing here is 10, 12, 10 as a hammer-on into a pull-off on the first string, and then I jump to 13 of the second, and then back down to 10 of the first. So we're going to go... Hopefully that's all making sense. Now what I do on the second string for this next bit is basically the same thing that we had at the start of the section, but just from the second string and just a different note when we're changing strings. So I'll do it slowly and you'll see what I'm talking about. I want to play 12, 13 on the second string, and then I want to do 12 to 13 as a hammer, and then pull off 12, 10. So we're going to do a hammer on to the roll again. Then I jump to 12 of the third. So we had... You can see the timing and the way that it rolls with the legato and the extra picking, and the string changing is basically identical. Let's put it together from the start of the section. We'll keep going through it. Hopefully that's making sense. I want to play 12 of the second and 12 of the third, and then 10 of the second and 10 of the third. So it goes. Hopefully that's all making sense. So that should be the start of the big run, and we'll work on the second half in a minute. Okay, hopefully that's all making sense, and then I go... What I'm doing here is sliding from 10 to 9, and then hitting 9 again on the third string. Okay, then I work into this phrase. That little hammer-on pull-off idea comes up quite a few times in the next chunk. I'm going to go 10, 12, 10 as a hammering tool pull off, and then slide to 9 on the third, and then I want to slide from 10 to 13 on the second string, and I'm going to repeat that exact same phrase 2 times in a row. Then I do it again, the hammering tool pull off into a slide, and I want to slide from 10 to 15 on the second string and bend it. So once I get there, I'm going to hit 15 to the first string and then bring the bend down. So it'll go, then I resolve it to 13, so it'll go, give it a bit of vibrato, and then he goes, need some time on my own. When he says on my own, we need to bend up. So it'll go 2, 3, 4. And we just want to resolve it up to a bent note, which is going to be a full tone. So we want to sound like we're playing 15th fret from that bend. So that's pretty much the whole section. Let's do it slowly from the start, and then we'll do it again even slower with some tabs. One more time, some tabs. And that was the first of 3 solos from November Rain by Guns N' Roses. Hope you guys have enjoyed that. I'll get cracking on solo 2 and solo 3 very soon, so stay tuned. Catch you later.